Hello everybody, welcome to Rosgrease Gaming with the Premium Spotlight, and this is going to be some of the new videos that we actually have. So if you guys are watching this video and you guys like it, hit the like button. If you guys dislike it, hit the dislike button. But let's get back into it as we go with the usual. So this is the Yahagi, the Tier 5 Japanese Cruiser. Now, usually we would go through all the stats and everything else, but I think I'm going to actually like blue balls you here because I'm just going to show you what the ship is, because basically what this thing is a very unique version of the Tier 5 Furutaka. If you guys don't know what the Furutaka is, you guys have been playing World of Warships for a while, and if you haven't, you know what the hell I'm talking about. So let's get into what the stats are. So let's get into the firepower and how this ship is. Okay folks, so this is the Yahagi and its firepower. So we have 3 twin 152mm guns, 2 twin 76.2mm guns. Range of these guns go to 14.9 kilometers. The reload of the main battery guns is every 9 seconds, with a rotation of these turrets is 26.9 seconds, with a dispersion of 126 meters, which is actually pretty decent and pretty accurate of a shell. Including on top of that, you have a 15.5% chance of fire if you buff up with the flags, and also you have decent EP shells, 2900 damage with 850 meters a second. So this can actually do pretty decent damage to lightly armored cruisers, or if you're trying to hit ships with a very lightly armored citadel, or hitting superstructural hits that it really can pen through and get penetrational damage. Now, that would all sound good and dandy right there, especially the fire chances, but then it has an ace up its sleeve, the Yahagi. It has 2 quad 610mm guns, not guns, torpedoes, but they might as well be guns because they do massive damage. 610mm rate, speed of 60 knots with a range of 12 kilometers. Yeah, that's right, guys, and that's not including it's 120 seconds to reload them if you put the proper commander skills on, 6 seconds to rotate the turret with expert marksman, and the other kicker is what this is not just the torpedo range and the detection of 1.6 kilometers, its damage is 17,233. So you actually have almost a tier 10 Shimakaze Torp at tier 5 in this game. Yeah, that's right. This is pretty powerful. So that's a good thing. Now let's go talk about the armor, because that's actually something a little different here. Alright folks, so let's go over the armor aspect of Yahagi. Now, Yahagi is definitely nothing special, but it is going to be a personal interest to actually point out the armor of any ship, especially this one if you're going to be using it at the lower tiers, especially for a cruiser commander trainer. Yahagi only has 25,700 health, which is in the lower portion of the heal spectrum compared to a Kirov or a Omahachi has more health, a Furutaka has more health even, and this is not including the other aspects. The turrets on these things only have 19mm of plating around it on its main artillery. Its barbets are 25mm. Superstructure, it's 16 and 30 at the top of the deck. Superstructure 10. Your side plating all over the ship, except the bottom plates below the waterline. On the main hull are 20, but the main structure is 13, and in your citadel, which is exposed with no torpedo protection, folks, is only 60mm, which means a lot of lightly, decently guns, such as 5 inches and up, with good AP characteristics, can penetrate this ship very easily. So you're going to be getting citadel like crazy if you're broadside this thing. You will get the plane treatment for sure. I know, Simpsons reference there, but it is the point to put across. So that is one of the things we're going to actually have to warn you guys about this ship. It's definitely not a ship to say it's fantastic for armor. You're going to have a hard time actually keeping yourself afloat if you're trying to at least block shells, which if you're trying to do that, you're doing it wrong. And this next portion is actually going to be describing everything else in between the fun under the sun about this ship, so let's get to it. Okay, folks, so we're going to talk about now the gameplay about the Yahagi, and I'm actually going to talk more details now with the ship now. With now your knowledge of the armor, you know about the guns. Now the whole package is now going to come together for you guys. So Yahagi, definitely, I just told you, is a fast DPS ship with very long range torpedoes that you can blind fire with. You have a very fast or decent reload rate with a high chance of fire, but lightly armored with a fantastic speed, which now we're going to get to this aspect. Speed of this ship with the speed flag is 36.8 knots. Now, that's actually pretty good for this ship. With a rudder shift of 5.1 seconds and a turning circle of 690 meters, this ship actually has a fantastic way of just zigzagging back and forth, which makes it, ladies and gentlemen, yes, a kiting ship. And this is a prime example of the, like, if you can master this ship, become really good in this, and get yourself a nice commander build, this would be a perfect commander to build for your Zhao, because Zhao definitely is a far-range ship that needs to fire a lot of shells and do a lot of fire damage, and has very damaging torpedoes for its side. Sounds familiar? Well, that's the Yahagi pretty much. But the problem is you gotta remember, you have a low amount of health and you will get punished for your stupidity. So if you can master this ship, you're looking at the perfect ship you can have for your commander skills for the Zhao, or even the Yoshino, another tier 10 premium that eventually we'll be getting a review on that one if we get our hands on it as well. Now, I didn't even talk about also the modules. Now, the modules for this ship, you have your repair party, like you usually do. You have 4 hydroacoustics with your, yes, with Superintendent. Your fighter plane, I was hoping you would get a spotter with this, but it'd be kind of broken if you put a spotter with this. 4, again, with Superintendent. And, yes, that's right, you have a speed boost. So you can start doing the French Han in your Japanese cruiser. This is the only cruiser currently in the game that actually for the Japanese that has the speed boost currently, so it's quite unique for that aspect, and you can almost go to 40 knots. Not exactly, but close enough, and because of that, well, that's what you get. Now, in theory, this is all nice. I mean, again, detectability from sea is 9.9, by air it's 4.6. It's a fantastically high rate of damage ship. But I'm going to warn you, you got to learn how to know how to kite. Because if you don't, and you start not missing and zigzagging from shells, you're going to get punished royally. And I hate being that guy, but that is the sad truth about this ship. You're going to need to take an ability to counteract against other ships. But if you can do that, you can master those skills, zigzagging, keeping your fire rate up, throwing torpedoes to negate any attacks coming your way. It'll be the difference between you winning the fight and you sitting there getting deleted again and again and again and again. Just like every other cruiser tier 5. Now, commander builds, guys, this is actually going to be pretty standard. For this ship, I definitely would say you want to take priority target, expert marksman, adrenaline rush. But if you're going to actually go down the full line with the first sets, it would be priority target, expert marksman, superintendent, concealment expert. For extra skills, I would recommend Demo Expert, Adrenaline Rush, I guess another one would be if you're using this ship, they are 5-inch shells, and they are going to have a tendency to have difficulty penning certain targets. You can use, and believe it or not, you can use inertia fuse high explosive. That'll get you a higher penetration chance on superstructures of battleships and other heavily armored type cruisers, such as like a Kirov. But I think that's pretty much it. There is other weapons and abilities you can probably switch for, but I would primarily stick with those because you really want to buff the abilities of this, throwing as much shells as you can and try to know when, okay, it's time for me to get the hell out of here. I just got spotted by 4 ships. I need to run. For ship upgrades, you don't have very much to choose from. So, again, I would recommend for that, main better modification 1, demo control system modification 1, and your aiming system modification 1. You want to keep your accuracy and your high rate of not taking fires and floods as much as you can. Because remember, you only have a limited amount of health. And after that limited amount of health, you're gone. So you either are going to have to be very careful with the way you shoot, or you're going to be sitting there taking a lot of punishment from enemy targets. Well, I think that's pretty much it. A very solid tier 5 Japanese cruiser. I give this thing a full recommend if you guys are trying to get your hands on a commander skill trainership for the Zhao or the Yoshino for the higher tiers. And on top of that, it is actually a fun ship to play. However, it is definitely a very high skill set for players who are not that well endowed to actually know how to kite. If you don't know how to kite, you're going to be having a very hard time in this ship, and you're going to be deleted multiple times. But other than that, it is a fantastic ship to buy at its price. So if you guys like this, hit the like button. If you dislike it, you know what to do. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, take care. I'll see you all on the high seas.